You're sitting in the stands at a Phillies game, when the moment everyone dreams of finally happens. A foul ball rockets into the crowd, headed straight toward a child's glove. The kid braces, excitement written across his face. But before he can close his hand around the prize, a woman in a Phillies jersey lunges forward and snatches it away. The cheers that usually follow a catch turn instantly into jeers. Fans around the section begin booing loudly, their disapproval echoing through the stadium. What should have been a child's once-in-a-lifetime memory transforms into a spectacle of outrage in seconds. That one action, captured on camera and replayed across social media, lit a fuse that would grow far bigger than the game itself. Online commentators didn't just mock the woman, they branded her. She was given a name, Phillies Karen, and within hours her face was circulating across platforms from TikTok to Twitter. Edits added dramatic music, captions called her a villain, and suddenly she wasn't just a fan at a baseball game, she was the antagonist in America's newest morality play. What shocked people most wasn't just the ball being taken, it was the way she stared at the disappointed child afterward, clutching the ball as if it were hers by right. For those watching, it crossed an invisible line between the thrill of sports and the decency expected from adults. And now the story no longer belonged to the woman, or even to the boy. It belonged to the internet, and the outrage machine was only just beginning to spin. Inside the ballpark, the booms were loud enough to rattle, but online they became deafening. Within minutes, clips of the moment bounced from sports Twitter to TikTok edits layered with ominous music. The most viral version paired her walk back to her seat with Darth Vader's Imperial March, cementing her as a villain in the public imagination. Meme pages went to work almost instantly, photoshopping the baseball into a crown and declaring her the queen of cruelty. Others added captions like, "Protect Lincoln at all costs," turning the young boy into a symbol of innocence. Commentators compared the scene to infamous viral villains of the past, the Bagel Boss guy, Central Park Karen. Even the dad at Yankee Stadium once shamed for snatching a foul ball from a child. But unlike those incidents, this one carried a sharper edge because of who was left empty-handed. A child's crushed expression made the moment more than a sports blooper. It was framed as a moral failing. The clip spread so far that people with no interest in baseball found themselves drawn into the outrage. On Instagram, comic book edits reimagined her as a supervillain, while sports radio hosts debated whether it was the new Bartman moment, referencing the Cubs fan who became infamous in 2003. Except this time, it wasn't about interfering with the game. It was about interfering with a child's memory. And with every share, the anger grew. Fans demanded to know her name, her job, her story. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a foul ball. It was about accountability. The internet had crowned its newest villain, and now the hunt to uncover who she really was had begun. As the clip tore across social media, the internet's focus shifted from outrage to obsession. Armchair detectives began freezing frames, zooming in on blurry screenshots, and launching Reddit threads filled with speculation about who Phillies Karen really was. Claims surfaced that she worked at a New Jersey school. Others insisted she had been spotted at past games, allegedly switching jerseys to avoid being recognized. None of it was verified, but the rumors spread faster than the truth. The fallout wasn't limited to her alone. Innocent women found themselves dragged into the storm, misidentified as the infamous fan. One woman even took to Facebook to laugh it off, joking, "I'd love to be that thin and move that fast, but sorry, not me." But beneath the humor was a darker reality. The internet's rush to judgment was creating collateral damage. The scandal had become less about one person's behavior and more about the mob's appetite to expose, shame, and punish. For the woman at the center, silence only fueled the fire. No statements, no interviews, no apologies, just a void that the public filled with their own theories. Every day she stayed quiet. The story grew louder. Comment sections speculated she was hiding in plain sight, attending games in disguise, or waiting for the storm to burn out. But cultural critics warned that in today's viral climate, silence isn't neutral, it's gasoline. What started as a single foul ball had now spiraled into a manhunt, with strangers across the country demanding answers. And as the mob swelled, the story morphed again, no longer about baseball etiquette, but about how the internet can crown and crucify someone overnight. Just when the outrage seemed to reach its peak, the institutions involved stepped in, and the scandal leveled up. Midway through the game, Phillies staff appeared in the stands carrying bags of merchandise, jerseys, hats, bobbleheads, everything a young fan could want. They walked straight to Lincoln, the boy who lost the ball, and handed him the pile of gifts as the camera zoomed in. The crowd erupted. For a moment, the boos that had haunted the section flipped into cheers, and the stadium turned his disappointment into a redemption arc. But the team didn't stop there. After the game, Lincoln and his family were escorted into the locker room, where outfielder Harrison Bader personally handed the boy a signed bat nearly as tall as he was. Photos of Lincoln smiling ear to ear quickly went viral, turning him from a faceless kid in the crowd into the internet's tiny hero. Commentators noted how perfectly staged it all felt, a PR masterstroke designed not only to heal the boy's memory, but to protect the Phillies' image from being tainted by the scandal. Outside the team, corporate America smelled opportunity. Marcus Lemonis, CEO of Camping World, jumped into the saga on X, announcing he was sending Lincoln's family to the World Series with a brand new RV thrown in for good measure. Within hours, the post racked up millions of views, and jokes circulated that Lincoln had upgraded from a baseball to a road trip fantasy. The boy's heartbreak had become a marketing goldmine. It was clear by then that the scandal wasn't just about one woman's decision in the stands. It had transformed into a spectacle where teams, sponsors, and media outlets all scrambled to write their own ending. And in doing so, they turned a 10-second clip into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. The Phillies' gestures may have softened the blow for Lincoln, but the outrage against Phillies' Karen didn't fade. If anything, the redemption arc gave the internet more fuel. Meme pages doubled down, editing her face onto comic book villains, while late-night comedians used the clip as fresh material. One joked, "Philly fans once booed Santa Claus. Of course they'd boo a woman who stole a ball from a kid." Another quipped that Lincoln walked away with more free merch in one night than some rookies do their first season. The laughter didn't erase the anger, it amplified her humiliation. Commentators across sports radio and TV kept the debate alive. Was Drew, Lincoln's father, wise for avoiding a fight by handing over the ball, or did he send the wrong message by giving in? Panels sparred over what the incident really represented: parenting, sportsmanship, or simply the harsh reality of viral culture. Every argument created new headlines, and every headline kept the scandal burning. Meanwhile, Lincoln himself became more than just a kid with a sad face. His disappointed quote, "We can't win," echoed through broadcasts and social feeds, turning him into a symbol of lost innocence. Edits layered his expression over inspirational music, transforming his quiet resignation into something larger than the moment, a metaphor people projected their own frustrations onto. For Phillies' Karen, the silence was deafening. She gave no interviews, issued no apology, and offered no explanation. And as cultural critics warned, in today's climate, silence isn't safety, it's gasoline. The more she avoided the spotlight, the more the world was eager to write her story for her. By midweek, the scandal had shifted from a sports controversy into something much bigger. Commentators weren't just talking about a foul ball anymore. They were using the incident as a cultural mirror. Writers compared it to Steve Bartman's infamous 2003 Cubs moment, but with one critical difference: Bartman disrupted a game, while Phillies' Karen disrupted childhood innocence. That distinction elevated the scandal beyond baseball, making it a debate about morality, parenting, and the responsibilities of adults in public spaces. Op-eds framed the moment as a reflection of 2025 itself, a time when adults often refuse to back down even in the face of a child. Some saw it as symbolic of a broader cultural divide, pride and entitlement clashing with empathy and decency. The ball was no longer just a souvenir. It had become a metaphor for how society defines right and wrong in everyday encounters. The internet's role only amplified that framing. Every meme, every joke, every misidentified suspect blurred the line between entertainment and outrage. Corporations and influencers swooped in to capitalize, proving how quickly viral scandals could be weaponized for clicks, views, and even profit. The $5,000 offer from a trading card company for the ball, on the condition she returned it with "I'm sorry" scrawled across the leather, epitomized that transformation. What began as humiliation had become a form of public currency. For Lincoln, the boy at the center, his story was reshaped into a redemption arc. But for the woman branded as Phillies' Karen, silence hardened into legend. She hadn't apologized or explained herself. And in a world where silence is rarely neutral, it was interpreted as guilt. And that silence turned the scandal into more than just a sports debate. It became a morality play that forced people to ask not just, "What would you do in her shoes?" but also, "What kind of society have we built when a baseball can spark this level of outrage?" As the dust settled, two very different stories remained. On one side was Lincoln Feltwell, the boy who lost a baseball but gained something far larger. His sad quote, "We can't win," became immortalized across social feeds. Yet in the end, he did win. A mountain of Phillies merchandise, a signed bat, a locker room visit, a World Series trip, even an RV courtesy of corporate sponsorship. What started as heartbreak was rewritten into a feel-good redemption arc, the kind of story baseball loves to celebrate. On the other side stood Phillies' Karen, silent, faceless, and infamous. With no statement, no apology, and no explanation, the internet wrote her ending for her. Every day she stayed quiet. Speculation grew louder, and memes became more absurd. Some claimed she would never dare show her face at a stadium again. Others joked about spotting her in disguise, hiding among the crowd. Her silence wasn't protection. It became the verdict. The contrast couldn't be starker. One child became a symbol of innocence restored, while one adult became a case study in how quickly the internet can crown a villain. What began as a simple foul ball had transformed into a cultural lightning rod, forcing people to debate decency, parenting, and what kind of behavior society refuses to excuse. And now the bigger question lingers. If a single baseball can turn an ordinary fan into America's most hated villain overnight, who will the internet choose next? And what moment, however small, will spark the outrage that crowns tomorrow's villain?